In 1963, headed by our instant film daddy Edwin Land, introduced perhaps the finest instant film ever created, this being Polaroid Packfilm. Packfilm superseded roll film, which we will discuss in another video, and was the format before integral film. This is the format most know Polaroid for today. Packfilm comes out of the camera and into the world in 2 layers. After 3 or so minutes, we peel these 2 layers apart and we are left with a negative and a print. Some varieties of Packfilm allowed you to extract a negative from this portion, meaning you could also print multiple high-resolution copies of your photo. While the integral film is newer and self-contained, it never lived up to its older sibling in terms of color reliability, sharpness, exposure consistency, and so on. There were a variety of formats in this line, including type
107, 108, 661, 662, 663, 664, 665, 67, 69, 72, 79, 81, 89, 90, IDUV, Studio 125.
Not the most creative names, as you've noticed. There was also type 100, blue, chocolate, and sepia for you funky creative types. Interestingly, if you've ever gotten an ID photo taken before around 2005, there's a good chance it was taken on peel apart film. They even made a special camera for this that took 4 photos on one sheet. There are a ton of cameras made for this system, the 100, 200, 300 and 400 series cameras being made by Polaroid, and even backs for medium format and large format cameras. Professionals often use this film to test their exposure before taking their actual photo. Now that we've blasted through that, here comes the sad part. In 2008, Polaroid ceased production of all its films. This included Packfilm, but do not fear, not all hope was lost. A Japanese company named Fujifilm remained producing a color 100 and a black and white 3000 ISO, and yes, you heard me correctly, 3000 ISO. Unfortunately, as film shooters know all too well, Fuji is a cruel mistress, and by the end of 2016, they were both discontinued. After this, eBay scalpers had an absolute field day, and today in 2022, the last remaining packs are selling for well over $100. There is a company called SuperSense that is having a red hot go at bringing this film back, but it is very primitive compared to what we once had, and is actually more expensive than just buying eBay pack film through a scalper. I've never shot this, but I plan to in the future. Stay tuned if you'd like to see that. This film is also a one-shot pack as opposed to the 10 shots pack film used to be. It's also worth noting that SuperSense is using expired materials as well, so it's not like you're getting something new. SuperSense is also headed by Florian Kaps, perhaps the modern day Edward Land, and he also helped bring back 600 and SX70 film, so he has experience in this kind of work. So for show and tell today, I brought in my Polaroid 180. Most of Polaroid's Packfilm cameras back then were akin to disposables and consumer cameras, not the 180, 190 and 195. These are all fully manual cameras with glass lenses. It's got a 114mm lens that opens at f4.5, a top speed of 1/500th, a self-timer, and that's it. All these cameras operate like rangefinders that you focus by doing a back and forth shuffle with these 2 levers. These bellows do deteriorate, so keep in mind before you spend your life savings on a pack of FP3000B, there will be minuscule light leaks caused by the tiniest of holes, and these will ruin your photos. My 180 here shoots FP100C fine, but when you put in FP3000B, there are light leaks galore. My 180 looks like it survived multiple world wars, but it still takes a great photo, and for how little film it's shooting these days, I'm not too fussed on how it looks. The pack film I've brought to shoot today is FP100C. This expired in 2018, and that's about the very latest you'll see these dated. It's supposedly been cold stored, and these chemicals seem to be much more robust than Polaroid's integral film, so we should see some pretty good results from this pack. For my sample photos, I've labelled all the dates of when these were expired, so you just get some kind of idea of what deterioration to expect. I've noticed the sky will turn out a vomit green colour if the pack is old enough, but that's about the worst I've gotten, and that was from 2012 to 2013 film. I think the colours this film produces are incredible and absolutely smash the integral films I've shot out of the park. The photos seem to be very sharp, but keep in mind my personal camera has a glass lens and most Packfilm cameras do not. Firstly, I just want to preface this by saying Packfilm isn't perfect and there are reasons it was discontinued. It produces a ton of waste. Look how much there was for just 8 photos. This doesn't include the pull tabs or the box. I recommend peeling your photos outside or somewhere heavily ventilated. It's mega stinky and the fumes stay around for a few minutes. This applies especially to FP3000B. People will genuinely leave the room if you peel it there. Next, you have to be careful when storing these, especially while they're wet. Peeling too early is bad, they'll end up underexposed, but it doesn't affect the photo if you peel it later. The print is still wet when it's first peeled, so if you're out and about like I was shooting these, wait until you get home. Dust can stick to them and they can get damaged pretty easily. My first print had a dirt patch, I tried to clean it and subsequently damaged the photo. These aren't as robust as other Polaroid films or normal photos. They're nearly identical in size to SX70, 600 and I-type, so a nice case I recommend is the Polaroid photo album that's currently for sale on their website. Finally, if you want to get more out of your photos, don't throw the paper negative portion away. FP100C wasn't intended to have a printable negative, but there is a way for you to do it, and we will learn how to do that in a later video on this channel. FP3000B does not work, but FP100C does. Thanks for watching everyone, I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I've sparked some interest in Packfilm for you. Have a nice day and happy shooting.